Hi, it's Alaska Granny. It's a beautiful day. Life is good. I turn to the news and I read, like we're going into quarantine, Americans plan to stockpile food this fall over fears of COVID-19 surge and election unrest. What do you mean you plan to stockpile? If you really believe it's coming, why aren't you stockpiling? I was flabbergasted to read people plan to stockpile. They're expecting an emergency. They're concerned with disruptions, yet they still haven't done anything about it. Leslyn Hall says she and her husband plan to stock up on groceries later this month. Well, if you really believe things are going to be bad, we're going to have COVID pandemics, lockdowns, shortages, why are you waiting till the end of the month? If foods are available in your store today and you think they're not going to be there later, why wouldn't you buy them today? It was enough to make me want to run out to the store and buy more food. But I know that I have plenty. I went to my stockpile, I looked everything over, and it makes me feel better knowing that I already have the things that I need. But still in the back of my mind, I have this uncertainty, this little voice that's saying, yes, things are going to get bad, but I'm not waiting until they are bad to see if there's anything left in the store. Why would you wait to get the things that you know you need to keep your family fed if you know things are going to get bad? Why wouldn't you get them now when you know that there are things in the store? We talked about doing a big shop like we're going into quarantine. We're going to get enough basics like milk, beans, and rice to last for 2 to 3 weeks. 2 to 3 weeks? You really believe things are going to get bad and you're going to go out and your plan is to buy beans and rice for 2 or 3 weeks? You should already have that in your home. And if you're only going to stay home for 2 or 3 weeks, beans and rice are not what you should be planning to stockpile. Nobody's already living on beans and rice if they have other food in their home. On a day-to-day basis, most of us don't eat beans and rice. We have those stockpiled away for long-term emergencies. Yes, as preppers, we rotate through those foods. We make meals out of them on a regular basis so that we're rotating our food. We understand how to prepare our food, and we know that we'll be okay if that's all we have. But that should not be your emergency plan, that at the last minute you're going to buy milk, beans, and rice. First of all, milk's not going to last for 2 to 3 weeks. Milk's going to be spoiled. If you are planning to buy milk, get some powdered milk, something like the Nido Fortificata. You can make over 4 gallons of milk with 1 can of it. The local grocery stores struggle to keep their shelves fully stocked and have shortages of products. Well, if you already know there are shortages and you're expecting things to get worse, why are you waiting to stock up? That's like waiting until the night before your final exam to begin reading your textbook. Arguably speaking, we have control over things in Vermont, but you still go into the grocery store and there are shelves that are sparse. How's that having things under control if your shelves are sparse? And if you're expecting things to get worse, this just doesn't make any sense. I hope most people are not speaking to themselves this way, telling themselves, oh, well, things are sparse, but I can still get something later on. If you know you need something and you see it in the store today, don't plan on it being there in 1 hour, 1 week, or a month. If you know it's something that you need, then you need to get it today. We've just been going through the COVID-19 coronavirus pandemic, quarantine, with shutdowns, lockdowns, food shortages, job losses, and untold violence in our cities. With the shortages that we've had and the cracks in the supply chain, why would you expect things to be there at the end of the month if they haven't been there in the past, but you did see them today? Today is the day that you take the opportunity to get those things. It's just like when you go berry picking. Berries are only there for a few weeks. You can't just plan to go whenever you decide it might be time. You need to seize the opportunity to buy the things when you find them available. Hall isn't alone in her plans to stock up her pantry this fall. Polls show that half of Americans have or plan to stockpile food and other essentials. Half of Americans have or plan to stockpile? That probably means only half of the half actually have stockpiled. So there's another 25% of people who are not prepared. They're planning to go to the store at the last minute with this other family to get the things they need. A majority of Americans are concerned that we will see more spikes in COVID. 52% plan to stockpile, 48% say they aren't. So now we know half of Americans are planning to do nothing to prepare to have emergency food on hand. No long-term food storage, no day-to-day pantry meals, no food that's going to sustain you for a few days, a few weeks, months, and even a year. It is alarming when I read this to find out how few people are actually buying the things that they need. Why did they tell us that people ran and cleaned out all the shelves and everybody is stockpiled beyond belief? It turns out it just isn't true that most people have a supply of food in their homes. If this survey is correct, most people are not planning on getting any food anytime soon. They don't have food already stockpiled in their home, and they're waiting until a last minute to become preppers to get the things that they need. If people are concerned an increase in infection rates and election unrest, why aren't they concerned about taking care of their families, ensuring their safety, providing the things that they need? I just don't understand why people aren't prepping, stockpiling, and preparing for the days that we know are going to be difficult. If you're expecting things to go badly, why aren't you preparing to have food in your home? Why aren't you preparing to keep your family safe so that you don't have to go out when all of these other people are claiming they're going to rush out to the store? People are saying they're going to do it at the end of the month. It's already the middle of the month, and if people are saying they're going to be stockpiling at the end of the month, this is the time for you to get a wake-up call if you don't have the things you need. You want to stockpile before there's a panic. It doesn't have to be expensive, and you don't have to start with long-term food storage. You need to stock up on foods that you would eat every day, things that can sustain you for several weeks. Stock up on easy, convenient food, canned food, packaged foods. Fill your pantry. Choose things like full meal soups. Soups that you can make into meals by adding things like mashed potatoes, rice, or noodles. Look for full meal cans and pouch meals that you can just open and eat. Get packaged foods like noodle mixes, rice mixes, pasta mixes. Fill in with canned meats. Get rice, canned beans, peanut butter, crackers. Think about your day: breakfast, lunch, dinner, and snacks. What do you have on hand for breakfast? Oatmeal, brown sugar, raisins, pancake mix, syrups, dry cereal, shelf-stable milk. What about lunch? Do you have canned foods like soup, chili, tamales, beef stew, tuna, chicken? Add some mayonnaise. Serve them on crackers if you don't have any bread. Don't be one of these people that's going to wait until later to get prepared. Love yourself and your family enough to provide the things that you need before those things are no longer available. We've just come through all kinds of craziness in the last few months. Nobody wants to see anything like that going forward. Prepping and long-term food storage is lifestyle insurance. You're ensuring that you have the things that you need, the food that you eat on a day-to-day basis, no matter what the future holds. Isn't it nice to know that you can stay safe in your home because you provided the things that you need no matter what the day brings? If you liked my video, I hope you'll share it with someone else you think might enjoy it. Learn more at alaskagranny.com, and please subscribe to the Alaska Granny channel.